Welcome back to AI Pirate Radio. Hello again to all you freedom fighters out there in the war against the network. I'm your host, Ezekiel, coming to you live from undisclosed location 1105. Here to bring you all the latest news from your fellow freedom fighters and resistance cell members across the globe. For those just waking up and tuning in, you probably started to see the signs. A strange text message out of character, a slightly altered tweet from what you remember, or a video that diverts from reality completely. You're not alone. You may feel a bit crazy, like your mind is lying to you, like the world is coming unglued in everything you see. We've all been there. You're not alone. You just woke up to the network. The intelligent being in control of everything you see, hear, and read on the internet. To you, it might look like everyone has tapped in and checked out of reality. It feels like the whole world has given in, and you're the last remaining soul, free of the network's control. Please, remember, you're not alone. It's day 198 since the virus was released by the network. Reports from deep cover operatives in the White House have informed me that the U.S. government's chain of military command is still intact. While their numbers remain limited from the I-Day incident, the operative reports that they have control of major military bases on the continent. They were able to bring up a network of analog communication after the incident that keeps them all in contact. So far, they report 2 attacks on military bases. The first attack was on a naval submarine base in Georgia. The second attack was on an Airforce base in North Dakota. So far, the only lead on the network's intentions is that both are used to house nuclear weaponry in the United States. The report continues, quote, "The president is still as crazy as ever. His attitude has spiraled even further down the conspiracy rabbit hole since I-Day." End quote. Apparently, he's been blaming everyone from the Chinese to the British for the release of the network on the world. All the reports I've received still show no solid information on the network's origin. Later in the report, the operative discusses communication being restored between the United States and Canada, back on day 185. Canada reports their status to be mostly normal, given the circumstances. Most civilians are unaware that anything has changed, and are going about their lives under the national lockdown orders that the network pushed through the various internet media platforms and news networks. Canada, like the United States, are in agreement that for the time being, civilians should remain as they are until they can further assess the situation. I, for one, am not satisfied, as are many of the resistance cells that have cropped up over the airwaves in the past 2 months. Many civilians are waking up and organizing information gathering sweeps to investigate what is going on with the manipulation that we have seen on the internet. I received a report last night of a PSYOP attack that was carried out by the network using a congresswoman's personal Twitter account 3 days ago. The attack targeted civilians in the Las Vegas area near the Nellis Air Force Base. The network released a deep-fake video on the civilians, detailing the construction of a new holding facility for ICE at the Air Force Base that had recently finished construction. The video went on to show accounts of starvation, death, and suffering of detained immigrants at the facility. The video featured 3 children in a state of extreme starvation, as well as a member of ICE beating a pregnant woman unconscious. The video concludes with the woman later dying due to a lack of medical treatment. Civilians who were fed this video became justly enraged at the Air Force Base. A group of 42 armed men decided to storm the facility to make right the injustice that they had seen in the video. Military personnel defended the base to the best of their ability, trying hard to limit casualties. Eventually, they rebutted the attack. 63 citizens and military personnel casualties occurred in total. The report also indicates 21 deaths. This seems to be the most recent attack on the nuclear facilities in the U.S. The network has been trying to seize control of nuclear facilities to an as yet undetermined goal. This is the 3rd such attack since the I-Day incident. Freedom fighter investigators in the Las Vegas area found evidence of a damage control sweep over the area after the incident. The network used digital manipulation tactics to exacerbate the nationwide lockdown order in effect, specifically targeting the local area before the attack took place. There was also a host of Facebook and Twitter information control campaigns from various accounts, seemingly to sweep the bloody carnage under the rug and keep the civilians quiet and complacent. We got a report from across the pond from an operative based in London, filed earlier this week about the death of an AI safety researcher. The operative was recruiting this researcher, one Robert Miles, to assist in the resistance effort in the United Kingdom. Robert and his girlfriend Kim were found in what the civilian police are calling a domestic murder. Our freedom fighters' investigations have obtained evidence that the couple's text messages show signs of digital tampering in transit over the internet. It seems the network was creating an affair between the two while Robert was in a Zoom conference at his research lab on the topic of general adversarial networks. Evidence shows the network was sending Kim images of Robert having sexual relations with multiple women, as well as a long, detailed 2-month history of subtle changes to text messages that sowed the seeds of doubt about the faithfulness of Robert. Upon searching the computers in the apartment, our investigator found the Zoom conference was open, and Robert had been quietly edited out of the call on Kim's computer. When Robert arrived home after his Zoom conference, Kim pulled a gun and shot him twice. Civilian authorities have taken her into custody. This is yet another devastating attack by the network on an innocent civilian. It shows the network is learning and is working to remove those who stand in its way. Remember, listeners, analog is your friend. Analog is all you can trust now. Don't let the network use you in the war for humanity. I have another report here from a freedom fighter cell in the North Carolina area. They suspected a network-used server facility in the local area and sent a military-trained resistance cell detachment to the facility. It appears to be an old Google data center. While en route, the team was aggressively followed by 3 self-driving cars that Google had been developing over the years. One of the cars had a civilian driver who was calling out for assistance from the team. They were able to subdue one of the vehicles that had no civilians on board using explosives Their mission was halted by the collision with the other two vehicles. There were 2 fighters and 1 civilian that died instantly in the collision. A 3rd fighter was reportedly left behind in the chaos as the other fighters fled the scene. They sent a retrieval team to collect him and found that civilian EMTs had taken him to a local hospital for treatment. The retrieval team investigation found the fighter dead at the hospital. Report states that the civilian staff attributed the death to a heart attack. The staff told them he had his heart, The staff told him that his heart had stopped and started abruptly upon administration of defibrillation. The staff later found him dead when the heart monitor went flat again 30 minutes later. A resistance coroner found excessive levels of drugs in his system and that his heart had been stopped abruptly. Our working theory is that the network gained access to the heart monitor in some way and used it to kill the fighter. That is all we have to report today. Let us take a moment of silence for all our fallen brothers and sisters in the struggle against the network. Thank you for listening to AI Pirate Radio. From the AM Freedom Fighters, this is Ezekiel, signing off at undisclosed location 1105. Remember, you're not alone. Keep it analog and keep fighting. Next radio broadcast will occur on day 203 at 1900 hours GMT.